So my name is Polina and I came to Korea at the end of 2018. I'm married a Korean person. Together we moved to Korea, so since then I live in Korea.
My name is Elena and I'm from Ukraine. I'm a dancer and it's my third time in Korea.
Your family and friends, okay?
My relatives who live in Kherson Oblast, they are in Russian occupied territory and I don't really have much of contact with them. I have a friend who is from Bucha, it's Kiev Oblast, and she ran a fleet the first day and now this city, it's totally destroyed. There are dead bodies just lying around, kids and raped women. You can see people with the signs of torture in the wells and stuff. It's really horrible to see those pictures and to read people's story.
My parents from Poltava region and yesterday they start to fight Poltava region and now I'm really have panic.
You never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. You never know, because tomorrow maybe your city is gonna be bombed, maybe your relative is gonna be killed. You never know.
Can you tell what's going on in Ukraine right now?
So firstly, what I want to say that today is 3rd of April. Every day when we wake up, we have different emotions. Today I will say something different. Maybe tomorrow I would have said something different. So this is very important. What's happening now in Ukraine is on 24th of February, it was Ukrainian time, 5 a.m. Russia attacked Ukraine like full scale. We have been having war with them since 2014, but we didn't get as much of world attention when Russians just took our land in Crimea and part of Donetsk and Luhansk Oblast. So, and now it's a full invasion of the whole territory. So it's something that you can't even imagine. How did you wake up?
I remember that day and when I woke up, I started to watch the news and I realized that now the war is started. It was the most terrible day in my life.
I was just analyzing the whole situation, but I didn't think it would happen like this. There was this UN Council meeting when the Russian spokesman, when he was delivering his speech. At the same time, Putin was saying his own speech where he was saying that he's having some sort of special operation, but it's everybody knows that it's war. At that time, it's like Putin was saying this speech, UN Council was discussing how to prevent war in Ukraine. And I'm like, what? And then we have like a telegram and there were constant messages. They're bombing this. They just started like shooting bombs like everywhere. And I'm sitting in Korea, sky is blue, everything is okay. I'm like, okay. And my hometown, it's 30 kilometers away from Russian border. I was so scared about my family. My grandmom, she was born in 1938. She survived World War II. Now she's again in this situation.
In this situation, we have many relatives in Russia. That's strange because when we explain this situation to our relatives, some relatives, they just don't believe. They said, no, it's not our army or something like that. We just try to save you. Just wait a little bit. Everything will be okay. Putin knows what he doing now.
Is there many people who actually trust the propaganda?
Yes.
So officially 83% of Russians, they support Putin and around 60% they support the invasion of Ukraine. Yeah, there are many people who believe in propaganda. I can tell from my own experience with my relatives. Aunt, just painful to say, she's just saying, we are told a totally different thing. It's not war, you are liberated and we don't know who shoots who. Maybe you are shooting yourself.
Yes.
So many Russian people believe in propaganda.
Many friends.
Yeah, many of my friends, they sign up for territorial defense. People I know, they're professional military. But most of my friends, they just sign up for defense and they're trying to do the best.
Yes, my father also went to territory. I hope it's finished soon because that's really hard to feel this. It's your country, it's your family, it's your friend, it's your relative. Impossible, just don't think about that.
Some people trying to justify now Russians saying it's propaganda, they have been brainwashed, they don't understand. They say it's Putin. Putin is not Russia. How is it not? Your regime, the politicians you choose, it's the sequences of choices you have been making for ages. It's your decisions. Nobody stood up before when they actually took over Chechnya, Georgian territory, Abkhazia, Pridnestrovia in Moldova. Nobody stood up. They were greeting it. Wow, we are having new territories. So they are saying that stop blaming usual Russian people. You can't justify this. We are in Korea now. I know something about Korean history, about Korean people, and we have a great example how people can stand up and speak up. People were having revolutions, like your students' revolutions, Gwangju revolutions. Look around the world, look in France, Europe, and the most important thing, they say Putin decided to invade. We didn't decide. We are against war, but who is now shooting our kids? Who is raping women? They're just shooting them without thinking. There are so many horrible pictures I saw yesterday because some are territories which used to be occupied by Russians. They're liberated, and there are massive grave of almost 300 people. Was it the Putin who was raping this woman? Was it Putin who killed this child? It wasn't him. It was a Russian citizen. Russian people, they were paying their taxes with those money, now killing Ukrainian people, destroying our cities.
And when they said it's propaganda, it's not their fault, I think they just don't want to think.
It's a very comfortable position to say. When I was studying in school about World War II, that maybe if Germans had internet, they would have prevented it. Maybe they would stop their regime. But we can see that it's not like this. People have internet, people have sources. But what can we expect of people if they don't want to change their own life? Why would they care about us? When the first week of war, my emotions were exploding. I was trying to convince my Russian friends, relatives that, look, open your eyes. Look, if you don't believe what I'm saying, I can send you videos, photos. Look at this. Your uncle, your aunt is now sitting in the basement. They are shocked and they're in pain. Why don't you believe? Go on the meetings. You should speak up. You should try to change something. After 2 weeks, no, I just give up. I do not care. The only people I can rely on is Ukrainians, our military, our volunteers, and people who support us from all over the world, but not them. That's why I said that my emotions are changing every day.
Also, many Korean people don't know about our history. They think that it's just war inside our countries, and I try to explain that it's not our fault. We just want to live in peace in our country, with our culture, with our traditional, and many people just don't understand that we really different with Russian people.
I hope Koreans understand that Ukraine is not trying to move towards Soviet Union world, you can say.
We don't want really anyone.
And we proved that in 2013-14 when we were having a big revolution where we were fighting for our freedom, where we were trying to enter European Union, but unfortunately we had a president who decided to spit on our opinion of Ukrainian people and signed the document that we are now moving towards Russia. And we are trying to fight for our nation, for our country since the dawn of our nation.
It was really hard because many people died in that time.
You can say that at this point we are very similar to Koreans. We are all the time fighting for ourselves to be independent from everybody.
The most important things, I think, many people think that this has happened because of USA or European Union. I think we don't need to think now about why it's happened because of USA or because of another country. It's exactly Russian army now are bombing and fighting Ukrainian.
Many people say it's because of NATO, because NATO was trying to put some missiles in Ukraine so that in future they would, invade Russia or something. Before 24th of February, now, we have never been part of NATO. But Russia has border with Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, which are part of NATO. And if they really wanted to do something with NATO, there is a part of very east of Russia, and then there is America. So their borders are very close. Is it really about NATO? It's not. It's obviously not. With any reasons, the killings of innocent people, they invaded the independent country. And if they're saying, okay, Ukraine wanted to be a part of NATO, we are an independent country. Yes. We have a choice which part of community can be. We would have a voting, we would have a referendum where we would vote. It's a democracy.
Yes, no, it's not because of NATO or we want to go to European Union. It's just because of territory.
For me, the most interesting thing, have you seen Russian cities like Moscow, okay, St. Petersburg, very developed cities, very modern tech cities, but when you go to regions and when you look how people live there, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
Why do they need new territories if they can't take care of their own? You look at the pictures of their towns, it looks like they have been bombed, but they have never been bombed because they don't invest in those cities. You know how much one missile costs or bombs? It's millions of dollars. And for that amount of money, they could have built schools, they could have invested in their own country, but they decide to bomb other countries.
Mm-hmm. We should say about that, many Koreans support us. When it starts, everyone texts me and asks, Elena, how are you? How is your family? everything is okay, how I can help you or what we can do for your country.
A simple example, my mother-in-law has a friend and he's a usual man who sells vegetables in front of apartment. And he was listening to my mother-in-law's speech, what she was saying about Ukraine, how it's horrible. And he decided to donate $3,000 to Ukraine because our embassy in Korea opened a bank account where you can send your humanitarian aid. And he just sent $3,000. I was really touched. And there are many people who join us at our rallies who bring just something to cheer us up. This support is so meaningful, I don't know, to comfort us. It's amazing.
So touched. First time I really wanted to cry because I couldn't believe that that's really so big support. I think this is how we can live together, whole world. Like support, that's mean you are human because you try to help. It doesn't matter money or clothes or just support. You can just say, how are you? Everything will be okay. That's also very important. I think we never was so close. All countries, all people.
Ukraine now is, we are putting ourselves up front. People, kids, our cities. We are trying to protect the peace in the whole world, the democracy. And some people ask me in Korea, how can I help? What can I do? I understand not everybody can donate money. So what I say is that just share the truth with your friends, with your relatives. Talk about the war crimes happening in our country. Stop the Russian propaganda. Boycott their products. Boycott investments into their country because with the money they get from selling their products abroad, they're using them on the bombs and missiles to kill us, to kill Ukrainian people. That's what I say. You can just share at least the truth.
Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава. Thank you for watching this video and 우크라이나를 계속 지지하길 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.